entering this country, no quarantine required. Must present an RT-PCR test taken 72 hours prior to departure upon check-in. Okay? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Life in the Philippines News. I'm BobbieD. Today's headline: Guide on arrival and quarantine procedures. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the Philippines Guide on arrival and quarantine procedures issued by the Philippine Airlines. Okay, and this is the most authoritative and up-to-date information and website that you can get for the Philippines quarantine and testing procedures and for arriving in the Philippines, because Philippine Airlines has a outstanding track record on providing the information needed by their passengers to get on board their airlines to travel to the Philippines. So they have a vested reason for making sure that this information is the most up-to-date that you can find. Okay, so let's go ahead on. Now, important advisory on entering restrictions in compliance with the Philippines regulations to prevent the entry of SARS-CoV-2. Okay, variant. Travelers departing from who have been to Faroe Islands and the Netherlands in the past 14 days before scheduled arrival are not, did you hear me? I'm going to say it again, are not allowed to enter the Philippines until November 30th, 2021. Okay, now here's some notes. Effective November 22, 2021, all arriving travelers shall undergo 10 days of quarantine upon arrival. Okay? The reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction RT-PCR testing shall be conducted on the 7th day. Number 2, the Bureau of Quarantine shall ensure strict compliance or strict symptom monitoring while in the facility quarantine for 10 days. Number 3, all passengers, whether Filipinos or foreigners, merely transitioning through red list country or jurisdiction shall not be deemed as having come from the country. So if you're just transitioning or traveling through a red list country, you're not going to be deemed as having been from that country. Okay. Number 4, upon arrival in the Philippines, passengers covered by the immediately preceding paragraph shall comply with existing testing and quarantine protocols. All right. Red list countries, jurisdictions, territories are those classified by the IATF as high risk. So if you're from a red list country, the IATF has classified your country as a high risk, and so therefore you're not allowed into the country. Okay. Now, in this paragraph, it gives you quotes on how they determine how to come to their high-risk status with the numbers. We're not going through all that. All right. Now, it says, if you are not covered by the travel ban above, please identify your traveler type and prepare documentary and other requirements in the guide. Okay? So, you want to go through some various passenger types. You notice the passenger types that I go through, and if you identify which passenger type you are, okay? And then you will have, on the right, you have to have the corresponding documentation to present to the Bureau of Immigration at check-in based on your passenger type. Are you with me? All right, yes. Number 1, passenger type Filipino nationals. You will need to have a valid passport, okay? Now it says up here at the top, it says documentary or other requirements must be presented upon booking, check-in, and or to the immigration officer upon arrival in the Philippines. So again, number 1, Filipino nationals, you must have a valid passport. So if you're a national or you're born in the Philippines, you live here, all you need is your valid passport. Number 2, that's as far as your documentation and requirements. Number 2, if you're a former Filipino or you have dual citizens, you'll need your old Philippine passport. You'll need identification certificate and a recognition certificate. Okay. Number 3, if you are a foreign national with valid and existing visas at the time of entry, including your SRRV or DFA endorsement, are not required. Okay. So if you're a foreign national and you have a valid or existing visa, like I'm a foreign national, for example. I'm a foreign national. If I left the country coming back, I have a valid and existing 13-day permanent visa. So this is what I would need. Any valid visa. Note, for 9A visa holders, refer to number 5. So a valid visa would be an SRRV visa, a permanent 13A visa. It would not be a 9A visa, except for the exceptions in option number 5. And we'll get that too. We'll get that as we get to option number 5. Okay, number 4. That's your type number 4. Foreign nationals allowed to enter the country under ballot buy-in, RA 6768, provided they are nationals from non-visa required countries under EO4. Now, ballot buy-in, for those of you who don't know, is a program that allows Filipinos and their spouses to come back into the country for free, no visa charge. This is a program that they let them come back in free, so that they can stay at least a year, and they try to get them to get a dual citizenship with whatever country they're from, as well as you cover their particular Filipino citizenship. So that's called the ballot buy-in privilege or ballot buy-in program. Okay. Now here's your documentation requirements. You must be able to present proof of affiliation. In other words, you have for former Filipinos, you need a birth certificate or your old Philippine passport. For foreign spouses, you must have your marriage contract or your marriage certificate. All right. For foreign children, birth certificate, or if you were married, you have children overseas, whatever, all you need to do is show their birth certificate. No. For foreign nationals not under EO 48, refer to number 2. Okay. We just show that you need to have. Okay. Now, number 5, pass your time. Foreign nationals with valid and existing 9A visa or temporary visitors visas. Okay. This is what we talked about back up in here on number 3. Says refer to 9A number for 9A visa holders. Refer to number 5. Okay, so let's go to number 5. For foreign nationals with valid and existing 9A visas or temporary visitors visa or TPV, your documentation requirements will be a DFA endorsement. Okay, if you have a 9A visa, if your visa was 9A visa was issued 7th of February or earlier, you will have to have an endorsement. Okay, valid until May 2021. Okay. Only if issued after February 8th onwards, valid for 90 days from the issuance of date. Okay, so that's very complex. You'll need to look that up and contact the DFA. If you have, basically, is what it's saying is if you have a temporary visitor's visa or 9A visa, and it was issued from 7th of February 2021 or earlier, you need to have a DFA endorsement. If it's issued the 8th of February onwards, it's only valid for 90 days from the date of the issue. Okay, that's exactly what that's saying. Number 8, effective August 2021, foreign spouses, parent, or children of a Filipino citizen not traveling together but with valid 9A visa may be allowed entry without the DFA endorsement. So if you're traveling not together, but you still have your paperwork, you don't have to get an endorsement. Okay, that's it's effective August 2021. All right, the foreign nationals whose country is under EO 408, no need for a DFA endorsement if traveling with Filipino village. Okay. Now, number 1, NTF endorsement valid until 31 May 2021. All right, number 6, if you're in the military, visiting forces agreement, military personnel joining the ballot buy-in exercise passport, visa not required. The only thing in your documentation you'll need to have if you're a military person, you have to have a military ID, travel orders, or a DFA endorsement. Most people have the military ID, so they'll be allowed in very, very easy, or other travel orders. Okay. Most of the time you won't have to get a DFA unless you forgot your military ID and you forgot your orders. Then you go out to apply for a DFA, but Department of Foreign Affairs did an endorsement to get you in. All right. Now here's a quick sheet. Testing and quarantine protocols, quick reference on Filipino rights. This is a break. Basically, what this does, ladies and gentlemen, is it breaks down all the information I just gave you just now. It breaks it down into a quick cheat sheet. Basically, it breaks it down in simple and it summarizes. Number 1, if you're coming from away in this country, no quarantine required. Must present an RT-PCR test taken at least 72 hours prior to departure upon check-in. Okay? If no negative RT-PCR test is presented, or you're coming from the green list, Filipinos may opt to be swabbed upon arrival to be quarantined until the release of negative result. Okay? Now, if you're unvaccinated or partially vaccinated or individual whose vaccination status cannot be independently validated, and those vaccinated but fail to comply with the test for travel ride, you're coming from the green list, you have to have 6 days facility quarantine and swab on the 5th day. Okay? Now, those that are coming from the yellow list, okay, you'll have to have 6 days of facility quarantine. The 5th day, RT-PCR test swabbing, and then you have to have home quarantine up to the 10th day. Now, if they can't determine if you're unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, you have to have 8 days of facility quarantine and 7th day swab. Home quarantine up to 14 days. It goes from the 10 days up to 14 days. Okay, home quarantine goes up to from 10 to 14 days if they cannot verify your vaccination status. All right, if you're coming from the red list not allowed in the Philippines. Exceptions, Filipinos from repatriation by union or special flight. Those are the exceptions. If they can't verify anything about you, your vaccination status, etc., you have to have a 10-day facility quarantine, home quarantine up to 14 days. Okay? This is the part I want you to pay special attention to. This is for people that are trying to show purposes of vaccination and confirmation of their vaccination status. Any of the following will be accepted. Okay? And if you want more information on that, the link right above it, go click on that link, and I'll put it in the description as well to give you more information on vaccination certification. All right, number one, for overseas Filipino workers and their spouses, parents, and children traveling with them vaccinated in the Philippines abroad. Number two, non-OFWs vaccinated in the country or abroad. And three, foreigners vaccinated in the Philippines. This is what you'll need to have. You need to have a VaccCert PH digital vaccination certificate. That's number one. Or, if you don't have that, you need to have a Bureau of Quarantine World Health Organization issued International Certificate of Vaccination or Prophylaxis, or ICV. Or, if you don't have the VaccCert PH or the ICV, you need to have a national state digital certificate of the foreign government where they were vaccinated, which is accepted VaccCert under reciprocal agreement unless otherwise specified by the IATF. Okay? So, you need to have one of those to show proof of your vaccination if you want to come into the country. For foreign nationals vaccinated abroad who issued ICV or a national state digital certificate. So, if you're a foreign national and you're vaccinated abroad, pretty much want to get it who issued ICV or have a state national digital certificate, and you should be able to get in. Okay? Now, it gives you information, more information on this vaccination information or any kind of immigration information. You want to call the numbers listed, or you may want to contact, go on a Facebook link at Immigration Helpline or Official Bureau of Immigration, or the website, immigration.gov.ph, or you can email them at those email addresses. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's one other option that I need to advise you of, and that is the Bureau of Quarantine One Health Pass system, or OHP. Okay? Now, this is a system where it's like an umbrella where you will get a lot of things done under one, just access one website. Okay? So that's why they call it the One Health Pass. And they're advising all travelers, incoming foreign travelers, to register at the One Health Pass website. And I'll leave a link in the description of this video for that as well. I'm going to just go over some questions and answers regarding the One Health Pass. It will save you time, and it will help you as far as getting all your paperwork required to enter the Philippines. First question, what is the purpose of the One Health Pass, or OHP? One Health Pass is an online platform that aims to promote the convenient and seamless movement of international travelers from one departure from the country of origin to the arrival at the LGU of destination. What is the BOQ? Considered to be one of the oldest government agencies, Bureau of Quarantine, or BOQ, is the health authority and aligned bureau of the Department of Health. BOQ is mandated to ensure security against the introduction and spread of infectious diseases, emerging diseases, and public health emergencies of international concern. Why do I need to register with OHP? Starting September 1st, 2021, all incoming travelers to the Philippines are advised to use the One Health Pass registration system as mandated by IATF Resolution 135, dated 26 August 2021. Do I need to download an app to use OHP? No. OHP is an information system that is mobile responsive and a web-based online platform. To use the OHP, all you need to do is a smartphone or tablet or laptop or personal computer. You can open the OHP using a mobile computer internet browser. Can I register a few days before the flight, before I travel? Yes. You may register ahead of time so that the OSS can already be informed of your arrival. But you may only register with the one registration platform of OSS. The EHDC of BOQ must only be registered, submitted the day before on the day of your flight. What is the EHDC? It stands for Electronic Health Declaration Card. This is the same paper, yellow form, which all arriving travelers in the Philippines are required to fill out and submit to BOQ upon arrival. Instead of paper, you must submit this electronically, and it will be issued with an OHP personal QR code. You will need this QR code before being allowed to board your flight. Upon arrival in the Philippines, you must present this QR code for verification of your submission and the data submitted. Can I submit my EHD immediately upon registration? The EHDC of BOQ must only be registered or submitted the day before or on the day of your flight. What do I need to do after I register? Upon your registration with the One Registration Platform of OSS TGMROF, you will receive a display message and an email containing your transaction number. Need this transaction number upon registration, submission of the EHDC. Upon successfully registration/submission of EHDC, you will receive your OHP personal QR code in a display message and in your email, which is required for the whole process of your quarantine and testing requirement imposed for all arriving international travelers in the Philippines due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. What is an OHP personal code? It is a QR code issued to you after successfully submitting your EHDC. How do I get my OHP personal code? You will only get your OHP personal code or QR code after successfully submitting your EHDC. You will get a message of display upon successfully submitting your EHDC. You may take a screenshot or print this to ensure you have a copy of the QR code. I have successfully submitted my EHDC and a message was displayed with my OHP personal code, QR code. However, I closed it without being able to screenshot or print the QR code. Do I need to register again at the QR code to get the QR code? No. If you have indicated a valid and active email address during your registration, you will also receive the same OHP personal QR code in your email account after a few minutes. You can open or print this email for presentation at the airport and upon arrival in the Philippines. It's been a while, but I didn't receive an email with my OHP personal QR code, even if I successfully registered. What do I do? Try to check the spam folder of your email. Since this is the first time you receive an email from a OHP email address, your email may have tagged it as a spam email. Also check what email address you registered. If you made a mistake in the spelling of your email address and was not able to take a screenshot of the display message right after the submission of your EHDC, then you may have to register again and be sure to encode a valid and active email address. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any update coming from Live in the Philippines News. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Hey, don't forget, check out some of our other cool videos. And if you like the video, hit the subscribe button.